Foley Field was when I was a kid. My father brought me down here for an Easter egg hunt. And it was hundreds of kids and a lot of parents. And it was a chilly day, and I'm running around looking for eggs, and apparently it was still in the spring, and they hadn't cut the grass yet, and there was clumps of grass, and that's where they were hiding the eggs, and then around different things, and I couldn't find an egg. My father found one and finally came over and gave it to me.
My father used to bring the Seton Hall team over to practice, and we were doing our archery practice on the same day. And I was up at the target retrieving arrows, and this young fella came over and started talking to me, and we talked for a few minutes, and I heard my father in his commanding voice, "Let's line up, let's line up." And so he had to go, and he's running off onto the track with one of his teammates, and the teammate said to him, "Do you know who you were talking to?" He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "That's the coach's daughter." My husband said, "How many million women in the world, and I gotta pick the coach's daughter?"
My earliest memory of Foley Field is, as a little girl, I would sit home and cut up the newspaper into little pieces, and me and my friend with our parents would take us to a football game on a Friday night or a Saturday, and we would go, and it would be a big community event, and we would throw confetti every time there was a touchdown. It was a day out, and to this day, we still have memories now that are future memories at Foley Field. Our daughter Anna cheers for the William Foley League, and so she cheers every Sunday for them, and she has, we are having a great experience there.
I was really upset when we found out that we were not going to have any home games. My whole family has performed, has been the football team, has been the band, the color guard. So to find out that me, the last person in my family of 5 kids, wasn't able to perform at Foley Field, it broke my heart.
I'm definitely worried about not having home games next year, or for my senior year especially, because it's kind of upsetting. I know how they would feel, I know how they're feeling, and I know how they would feel if they don't have home games next year.
My daughter is a freshman, she's 14, she made the cheerleading squad this year. Rumor has it that they will not see a stadium for the next 4 years. So every single game is played out of town, which makes it very difficult for a lot of parents who are commuting to have to drive and put their kids on a bus all the time. They can't even have a homecoming. They have to do that in the gym. Graduation can never be held here, and it's been a tradition for years, so I'm a little disappointed. I'm a graduate of Bloomfield High School, and I see it slowly just, falling apart behind me.
Field is important to me because the kids in Bloomfield need their own field to play in. This is a travesty that they got to travel around to different fields. Let's go Foley Field!
Since the inception of the Sunset Classic in 1984, we have raised in excess of $250,000. Many different types of vocational experiences have been provided for our special needs population because of the Sunset Classic. A story that comes to mind is a young man who learned how to engrave due to the engravographs that we purchased through the Sunset Classic. These are not cheap machines, and we spent in excess of $30,000 over the years to provide the youngsters with equipment that they would use in industry. Consequently, Paul was able to obtain a job where engraving was a major part of his job during the day, and he's still employed at that worksite today, some 18 years later. Again, it's imperative that I stress the importance of Foley Field because it is the location. Everything that happens in preparation the day of the Sunset Classic happens at Foley Field.
One of the greatest public relations tools and advertisements for a community are its high school athletic programs. When you pick up the newspaper and now the websites, there is a lot of space and time devoted to high school athletics. And that has a direct impact on not only the morale of the community, has an impact on what outsiders think of the community, and does increase your property value, and which a lot of people don't realize, that the money that is put in does come back to you in an increase in property value because it makes your town desirable to live in.